From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
I'm Russ Riesinger at Pioneer Park. We're getting ready for Symphony in the Park this Sunday. Coming up, I'll introduce you to a former Kids Conductor Contest winner who's gone on to some big things.
On Victoria Hill, along the banks of the Little Bighorn River, where a local family is gearing up for their annual reenactment that the pandemic took away last year.
But first, Montana's unemployment rate is now down to 3.6%. That's compared to 9.1% a year ago. Yet many area businesses are struggling to find employees. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, worker shortage is a national problem, and Billings is not immune. It's starting to take a toll on local businesses. But as Q2's Jeanelle Slade reports tonight, some are now upping the ante.
Businesses nationwide are seeing a shortage of employees to fulfill their customer demands, and this is no different in Billings. The employee shortage is affecting everything from major retailers in Billings to your local stores.
As you've seen everywhere, there's hiring crunches everywhere, and just trying to make sure the people who enjoy the outdoors know that we are looking for people to hire, and that we obviously love what we do here, and we want people to enjoy the outdoor lifestyle, to come and work with us and have fun with us.
At Cabela's, in hopes to bring in more employees, they're offering a sign-on bonus, which is something that Puliano says in her 18 years of being with the company, she's never seen.
So if you are looking for work and you love the outdoors, new hires who come on board with us by July 1st get a $750 signing bonus.
The hiring bonus started in the beginning of June, and Puliano said that roughly 75 applications have been submitted. But some local businesses haven't been so fortunate. At Cal's Chicken Coop in Billings, they have had multiple applications come through, but not much is happening after that.
I've gone through quite a few interviews, and there's many people who apply, and they'll go through all of the motions of asking who's going to interview them and where the interview place is, and then just don't show up. So we will have things planned to hire on new employees, and then no one comes in for the interview. Or people will come into the interview and then never respond again.
Roni said they have paid for services like BetterHelp to search multiple job sites and bring in employees, but have seen no returns. She said that while they can't compete pay-wise with big names like McDonald's and other food chains, they're trying to make the job as appealing as possible for new hires.
We are doing our best. We're very flexible on schedules. We work around people. We really try to focus on that we understand that you're a person and life happens outside of work. So we try to keep our employees and draw them in from that standpoint.
Now both Cabela's and Cal's Chicken Coop will still be hiring until their stores are fully staffed. Reporting in Billings, I'm Jeanelle Slade with MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, Shaq. Now, Roni adds that Cal's Chicken Coop has plenty of hours to give, and having more employees would take a lot of pressure off the current staff. In other news tonight, a 17-year-old Billings girl died in a single-vehicle rollover crash early this morning between I-90 and Colson Park. Yellowstone County Coroner Cliff Mahoney says 17-year-old Adriana Dawn Lentz was ejected and died from multiple blunt force injuries. Montana Highway Patrol says the vehicle was heading east on I-90 just after 3 a.m. Just before the Yellowstone Bridge, Lentz was negotiating a right-hand curve when her vehicle drifted off the road and rolled. Well, a 2.5-year-old class action lawsuit against the city of Billings will soon move forward. This after a judge made a ruling last week. Plaintiffs in the case have been arguing against the city's franchise fees on water, sewer, and garbage services. They say the fees are an illegal sales tax since they go into the general fund and not toward those services. Now, the city removed the franchise fees in 2018, and the plaintiffs want a stipulation or court order that the fees do not come back. In 2019, the judge certified the class being represented. Since then, another group has filed to intervene and take over representation. But the judge's ruling states that motion was not timely and lacked merit because the proposed interveners failed to show the other group was inadequate.
The idea that the franchise fees should be stopped, I think, was a noble one at the start. Good for them, but there was a lot easier ways to get there, and it didn't need to take so much time, and it didn't need to cost so much money.
It means that our clients will be able to proceed in their efforts to get refunds for city ratepayers of the illegal sales taxes that the city has taken from them over the years. The judge made clear that the class representatives were more than adequately representing the taxpayers of Billings, as were class counsel.
And Monforton says he anticipates informing ratepayers about their options with the case in the next few months. Well, there's now a deal on a bipartisan infrastructure package. President Biden making that announcement today. The $1.2 trillion proposal includes $579 billion in new spending. Now, money focused on physical infrastructure, including transportation, water, energy, and broadband internet. Despite the agreement, President Biden says the plan does not include all he wanted, including funding to expand child tax credits and other family and caregiver programs. Now, the bill still faces several obstacles passing through Congress. Montana Senator Jon Tester was one of those who worked hard to get the compromise passed and said today it's long overdue.
For a country that has been living years off our parents' and grandparents' infrastructure, this is a big deal. My colleagues and I have been working overtime for weeks to hammer this agreement out. Negotiations like this are always difficult, and like with every good compromise, neither side got everything they wanted.
Montana Republican Senator Steve Daines voted against the measure today. Now, Daines and House Republican Conference Chairwoman Elsie Stefanik are also stepping up pressure on the Biden administration to ease restrictions on the closed Canadian border. He hopes the move will place additional pressure on Ottawa as well. Here's MTN's Dennis Bragg.
The border has been shut down since last year because of COVID restrictions, with the Canadian government recently extending those closures to July 21st. Senator Daines says he's amazed and shocked that's the case when people are still crossing from Mexico.
The southern border, because of President Biden's policies, remains wide open to illegal immigrants and drugs, and the northern border in Montana remains closed. And President Biden just extended the northern border closure to July 21st. So I can't wait any longer. Montanans can't wait any longer for President Biden to do what's right and open the northern border.
The Restoring the Northern Border Travel Act would require the Department of Homeland Security to expand the list of essential cross-border travel within the next 10 days. That would include allowances for individuals traveling to visit immediate or extended family members who are U.S. citizens or a permanent resident. Right now, many families have been unable to cross the border from Montana and other states into the Canadian provinces, leading to separations lasting more than a year or expensive flights and quarantines in Canada.
This is having a direct impact on so many of our businesses across northern Montana. It's having impact on families. We're heading into, of course, the big tourism season. This is a lost opportunity for Montana businesses. We need to open up the northern border.
Other changes would allow individuals to cross if they own or lease property in the U.S., travel for business and site visits, or traveling to board a flight at a U.S. airport. The bill calls on the administration to begin developing a plan to fully restore non-essential border crossings within 20 days. But will congressional action convince Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau?
It's kind of that old saying, Dennis, lead, follow, or get out of the way. It's time to lead and get the northern border open. We're going to put pressure to get the United States side opened up, and that would pressure, I think, Trudeau to get Canada opened up as well.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
Thanks, Dennis. And that is Republican Conference Chairwoman Elise Stefanik. Senator Tester also says he is continuing to hear firsthand from his neighbors on the negative impacts from the continued border closure. He says each day that passes without a resolution is a hit to Montana's family farmers and ranches and rural communities all along the border. Well, the pandemic wiped out most events last year, even the long-standing ones like the Real Bird family reenactment of the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Q2's Victoria Hill had a chance to visit with the Real Bird brothers to learn more about this weekend's return.
Come this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 1 o'clock, these bleachers will be packed with spectators as they watch a historic event come alive.
June 25th, 1876 marks an infamous date in U.S. history, Custer's last stand. 145 years later, Jim Real Bird and his brothers host Battle of the Little Bighorn reenactments on their land. And it all started with a movie scene filmed in the late 60s.
We were warriors in Little Big Man. This was a camp for Little Big Man. Some of those scenes in Little Big Man, the old movie, it was right here. We rode off of that cliff right there, the first scene we ever did.
Time has changed things along the way.
Now I kind of just run parking. I used to do the warrior scenes, but now I'm in a parking lot, but I'm still involved.
This weekend's reenactments come after a 2020 COVID shutdown.
We're expecting really big crowds and a better show.
Located between Crow Agency and Gary Owen, the reenactment site sits along the 3-mile stretch where the encampment for the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors stood when George Armstrong Custer met his demise.
We're still doing this battle thing. It just kind of is part of our family because of the land.
A land with strong spiritual ties.
Everything I do, it's from the land. The Creator is right here for us every day.
Even during my visit with Jim, I couldn't help but feel a certain energy and peacefulness coming from the ground and our surroundings.
All these visitors that come, we welcome all people for 3 days. They have their own relationship with this land, and then they keep coming back.
His family's horses are what Jim says makes the reenactment come to life.
We set up the sound, electricity, and all that, but actually these with the land and the background, what you see, we're just all part of it, like temporarily. We like to think different though, as people.
In Gary Owen, Victoria Hill, MTN News.
Thanks, Victoria. And Victoria tells us you can take the East Frontage Road between Crow Agency and Gary Owen and turn onto Whistling Water Loop. Visit littlebighornreenactment.com for more details. Well, up next on tonight's MTN 530 News, right here on Q2, a Magic City summer favorite is back. Up next, we'll meet a musician who got her start at a very early age. And in sports, a gold medalist with a love for Montana will meet the proud winner of the Spirit of Montana Award in just a bit.
Check out this picture from northeastern Montana. This is the scene with a big wall cloud just a few minutes ago, and this is what it looks like from above with radar. Strong storms around. We'll talk about them in a few minutes.